Welcome to Matt Bayeski YouTube channel. Rushing around like crazy today. Down to the bank, to the office, running around, back. Oh, do this, do that. I haven't really got time. I've got somebody uploading all the videos from the Crystal channel onto this channel, which will give you some wonderful insights into crystals as well. So that's great. You can watch them. And thank you very much for the beautiful soul who's doing that for me. Yeah. Okay. I remember. It's just come back to me. We're gonna talk about two crystals. Okay, cool. I've just remembered. Okay. What's the difference between Moldavite, Maly, Chlum, and Besednice? Great question. Great question. Okay. I'll take my Chlum off and get a Besednice. It was on there. Yay! We remembered. It's been on there for ages. Okay, guys. Take a look. Maly, Chlum, Besednice. Besednice. You say it wrong, Mr. Bayersky. Say it correctly. Sorry. Okay, so what do I know about these two crystals in a sense of being there and the understanding of where they're dug from, their value, and just the rareness of the crystal? Well, of course, Moldavite is rare because it has to be dug. And that means that somebody has to get down on their hands and knees, right? There are sand pits where Maly Chlum comes from. So basically, same. You've got to get the sand out, and in and amongst the sand, you're going to find some of these, okay? In the fields where Besednice, which is a little tiny place, there's fields, and in certain fields there's farms. And you can't go digging on them farms because it's somebody's land. So there's only a small quantity, and really to be able to dig is basically nearly illegal now. So you can see how what once was, where by many hundreds of years ago, these crystals are still around and still passed on to different people. It's very rarely that they're dug now. I'd say maybe 10% are dug. The rest of the 90% have been excavated a long time ago and are passed around like many crystals. So I'll start with Maly Chlum. Maly Chlum is again another place in the Czech Republic where there's only a certain amount of sand pits with, there's many sand pits, but with Moldavite. So I know of 3, and the 3 that I go to and go near around when I'm there, this one, like this, came from there. The price difference is, I would say, a minimum of 50% cheaper, and they're not cheap, but cheaper than Besednice. So Besednice, the price difference can be phenomenal, depending on what kind of Besednice and whether it's a hedgehog or whether it's one that looks like a snowflake, which is incredible. And I have one called the Flame of, yeah, the Flame. It's down, it's not here anymore, so I can't show it you. It's beautiful. Anyway, they're all beautiful. But anyway, you can see it on the website. If you just type in mattbayeski.com, then click shop, and then click the button price. Go the highest price, and it's the first one there because it's the most expensive crystal on my website. It's beautiful. The Flame of Bohemia is beautiful. It really is beautiful. Okay, let's get back to this crystal. The Maly Chlum to me have always been a slightly duller colour than the Besednice. The Besednice always seem to have a more vibrant green, but sometimes you can be shocked and you can really find some Maly Chlum, which are very bright as well. So it's not always the case, but predominantly the hedgehogs and the Besednice are really quite vibrant in colour especially when you shine the light into them or when the light catches them. When you look at them like this, they look very similar, right? Very similar. When you're taking photos, especially on my website, when I take a photo of a piece, if it's a really big, thick piece, like I've got some at 30, 40 grams, and they're big chunks, or if they're like dumbbells, they're very hard to take a photo of. But when you've got a slither, a nice slice like this, when you take a photo, you can see through it, you can see the cloud formations, all the beautifulness of its intricate design by nature. So yeah, it's always more easier to take a photo of a slither or of a slice or a thinner piece than a big chunky piece. Okay, so I've told you the difference between both, where one is more rare, one is easier to access, because obviously Maly Chlum has the sand pits and people are working there all day long, and people go and dig there through the night. They normally start at 6 o'clock at night and finish at 6 in the morning. And then they go off for a few days and then come back again and then dig again, which is illegal, but they do it to make a living. So you can see in all forms, whatever is happening, it's very rare to get Moldavite dug right now, especially with the lockdowns, because there were huge fines for the diggers as well, so they kept away. Okay, so let's get on to the esoteric, the spiritual, the amazingness of this beautiful crystal. I'm going to start with what is the difference in the spiritual sense of a Maly Chlum Moldavite, and then I'll talk about the Besednice. If I'm to be honest, they're both equally in energy, but they have slight variations when you feel them. When you're touching a piece of Maly Chlum, a lot of the times you'll see the craters are not as deep as Besednice, and it's more of a flatter kind of feel, especially on this one here. On the back side of it here is more flat, and then the front is a little bit more, feels more gratier. And when you place this crystal on your third eye and it's nice and flat, you seem to get this kind of blast energy, and it feels like you've just dumped a big massive crystal on you, and it's nice and flat, and it feels like everything that you're seeing is, as, how do I explain, a manifestation of a single seed of light which spreads beautifully. Moldavite, when placed on the third eye, brings out an amazing energy of clarity, and it seems to be in a way of everything, all parts being equal. You feel more balanced when you wear a Maly Chlum. It's more of a balanced energy, but it progressively gets stronger and stronger without any forks, any quick whacks, or anything like blowing you away. It's almost like I am seeing the whole picture unfold from the fog dissipating, and now I can see the whole picture. This is how I describe Moldavite Maly Chlum. It brings me to a very beautiful place, safely, and more at peace. I can digest it more. I feel more at peace, more at ease with this crystal. Now, when we move on to a piece of Besednice, its formation is more, how can I put it? Okay, so if you're looking at this here, this is basically what once was a piece of clear quartz. And on this clear quartz, you can clearly see, it's great depiction of and explaining. There's a little pointer there. Can you see the pointer? And then if you turn it here, there's another pointer there. Can you see that pointer? And then there's a pointer here. So you've got pointers. Now imagine Besednice, and yeah, a hedgehog is a perfect example, but Besednice normally have little pointers. Can you see the little pointers everywhere? So if you imagine you're a healer and say you have a pointer like this, which is a clean point, and you're working on certain parts of your third eye, or you're working on your eyes, or you're working on your throat, or your jaw, or skin, because you've got disease, and so you're working in that energy. So this pointer is amazing. Now, go back to the Besednice, and what you've got here, literally, is a most powerful crystal in its whole form. But at the outer case, you've got pointers, literally hundreds of pointers. Now, these pointers work in a unique way. And if you just close your eyes for a moment and see those pointers, which are blasting out energy at points. So every pointer is blasting a single beam of light, a single beam of energy from the Moldavite. You can understand now that when you put this on your third eye, you're going to get this overwhelming, shooting feeling of you're being awoken, and different things like, oh my God, I just saw that. Did I just see a face? Did I just see numbers? Did I just see colors? Did I just see? So I guess what I'm trying to say, and it's a very, very challenging way to explain, because it's not easy in terms of sharing it in words, but Maly Chlum is more of a dense and very, very easy energy that opens you up to everything at once, where it's digestible and palatable and you can feel it. And this is like beams of light shooting out of every single pointer. And for me, if I'm wanting to elevate and raise and see things in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of way, in a spiritual speaking way, then I would wear Besednice, one of these. These are actually the perfect crystals to wear for that energy. And yeah, I went to the Czech Republic a few months ago, and I was hunting for this particular nugget, because I call them nuggets. They're nuggets of pure truth. These little nuggets are amazing because they're filled with pointers. And there are many ways you can use this particular Besednice nugget. And I met one of these amazing guys, and he had a whole collection, and he says, which one do you want? I said, I want them all. And I basically bought all of them. I invested all my money in these because I know they are incredible. So here's how I work with them. There are points that through the night, if I'm doing meditation, I will be lying down, or I'd be turning to the side, and I'd lay the crystal either on the temples, third eye, but something unique about this crystal as well is if you hold it in your fingers, whichever finger you go to, like if you were working with the Maly beads. Maly beads have the same energy in the sense of it looks like a brain, and it has little erased points where if you hold them in your fingers, you will feel different sensations, and it activates certain points of your being, your spiritual awakening. I am not familiar of Maly beads in that sense. I wear Maly beads because I know they heighten my energy and work with crystals really well. So they're a bit like wearing a Moldavite tektite with a Herkimer diamond. The Herkimer diamond is the, for me, perfect crystal to heighten the other two crystals. So when I wear this heightens the energy of what I'm working with and feeling. So if I'm doing mantra, it heightens that. If I'm doing singing bowl therapy, it heightens that. If I'm doing psychic attunement, or if I'm doing healing or absent healing, the Maly heightens your energy. It's incredible. When you work with a piece of Besednice and you've got it in your hand and you're meditating, you can simply move it from finger to finger and feel the burst of energy. What I normally find when I'm working with it in my fingers is it does a lot of work in my head. I don't know why. I'm not a scientist. I am not a doctor. I know nothing about that kind of understanding, but I do know this, that when you work with Moldavite in your fingers, something happens in the mind, whether it's the pineal gland or whether it's a cleansing or whether it's an awakening, whatever it is. You find sharp pains in the head, which is the clearing of the negative energies or the blocks or the emotions. And then the awakening, you start to get sometimes pressure in your head. Some people will understand what I'm saying because you've probably done it. Pressure in your head, so your temples feel like they're squashing in. The headache persists and sometimes gets worse. And from there, when that clears, you start to see this new world, this new understanding, this new, again, you can't put it into words because it's so profound that what you see and what you understand about life enhances 100-fold. So everything becomes more clear, everything becomes more attuned. You become more attuned to yourself, to your body. You are more sensitive, but in a positive sensitive, meaning that I know what I feel and now I know what I need to do. So it's all the outcome of Besednice when you're holding it in your fingers is a self-realization of everything, life. And then the connection to this new realm of colors, which you've never seen before, a new realm of seeing things that you didn't believe was real and exists, a new realm of possibilities that life can change dramatically at any given moment, a new realm of no space and time, and a new realm of inner peace. Besednice, when holding it or wearing it, and a lot of the times when I was a healer, I used to have it down here with my tektite, and I used to hold this. And when you work with a piece like this, which is no more than 2 or 3 grams, it's enough. It's enough. You don't need 10, 15, 20 grams. Just a little piece like this. And, you know, to afford a piece like this, a genuine piece, there's a lot of fake now, is, you know, you're looking at anywhere between 1, 2, 3, 400, depending on its type, its size, its shape, and its clarity. And some people really enjoy the fact that it's got so many unusual, different cavices. Inside it can be coloured very dark, and sometimes it can be coloured, sorry about the noise, like a brown. You could have the brown energy within that as well. So they're all very, very unusual. Anyway, going back to Besednice. Besednice, when wearing it, is a really powerful energy because those pointers are working all the time. So for me, whenever I wore Besednice, whenever I wore this crystal, I found that it affected me in the way that it affected others. So when I wear, say, a piece of Maly Chlum, it's a general energy that would, yes, affect people, but not in the same way as this. As it affects me, as so it affects others. So within, so without. It's kind of like boom, boom, boom. So you're getting this blast of energy, which are pointers, at your friends and family, and some very strange things can happen. Very strange things when you wear this. Whereas the Chlum, it's more an easier and a more gentle energy. It really is. Which would I prefer? If I'm wanting to walk into the path of spiritual awareness and awakening and heightening my awareness, I would go for the Chlum, Maly Chlum. Either Chlum, Maly Chlum. And if I'm wanting to move forward and raise my vibration and be more, I want to pinpoint certain feelings and I want to see things in more of a direct manner rather than a nice and gentle manner, I would go for the Besednice. So I would suggest, if you're starting off, I'd go with a little piece of Maly Chlum and work your way up to a beautiful piece like this. And then from there, start with a piece like this, Besednice, and then you can work your way up to a bigger Besednice if you want, and then you can put it in your palm, a nice big palm piece. And then if you really, really, really want to step into a totally different dimension, then we will talk one day about hedgehogs, which really are something unusual. And anybody who ever works with hedgehogs will be able to clarify that. They are something really profound in a very deep and spiritual manner. All these crystals are available on mattbayerski.com. If you want a genuine, authentic Moldavite, I go to the Czech Republic and I get them in person so you can be trusted in that. I also work with every single piece individually for whether it's 1 hour or 100 hours. I work with those pieces till I'm ready. I have to say that Moldavite has always been a pleasure. It's never a challenge to work with Moldavite, and putting energy or what we call memory into, healing memory into any form of Moldavite where it's been dug from is a pleasure, because it absorbs and works with your energy as well. So it's incredible.